My name is Ansel Wong. I'm a director of the London Notting Hill Carnival Limited, which is the organisation that's responsible for the staging and management of the London Notting Hill Carnival. I'm also a co-founder of the Elimu Mass Academy, which is a carnival band and performing unit participating in Carnival for the past 40 years. I have had a long association with Carnival from the early days when I was a stall holder selling roti under the flyover. Now I'm in retirement and keeping a watching brief to assist as many bands as possible to make Carnival one of the best festivals in the United Kingdom. The Notting Hill Carnival is an annual festival, street festival, every August bank holiday. And its origins, its beginnings is very much contested because there are different people who have views about when it started or what influenced it. But from my own perspective and from the research that I have done, I feel that the origins of the carnival really is in around September 1966, when we had the Notting Hill Fair, the Notting Hill Festival, a festival that was established by a local community activist and community worker called Rani Laslet. And she was a very important individual in the local community in West London here, where we are filming tonight. So she wanted to have an opportunity to bring everybody in the community together, whether you're black, you're white, whether you're Caribbean or African or wherever, bring them together in a celebration of unity and community. And I think she started off by getting involved with the London Free School, and that was an opportunity for everybody in the community to create some kind of sense of how the community responded to the issues around them. And they had a fair, a summer event. And one of the participants in that event was a man called Russell Henderson. And he's a person who plays the musical instrument called steel band. And he was with his band, I think there were 3 or 4 of them in the band playing, and they were stationary playing. But then for some reason they felt it was very boring, sitting there doing nothing, just playing music to everybody. So they decided, let's do something. And in true Trinidadian fashion, what we call doing arounds, they opened the gates, started to play, and took the instruments and playing and went out onto the streets. And like the Pied Piper, he took with him the people who were attending the fair, and they went down Portobello Road dancing and playing music, up and then to Notting Hill Gate, and then came back down to the fair. And that in essence was something that has never been seen before in terms of that music. The community got really involved, and inevitably people said, this is good, let us try it next year. And essentially that's what happened. Each year there were developments, in each year different contributors, each year different communities, until it became what we know today as the Notting Hill Carnival. Around this area in the 50s and 60s, this area was very much a typical urban class area with poor housing, and also has a history of what was then called rackmanship, because the rackman was the landlord at the time who used that his property to rent to people. It was at a time when we had major issues around the Notting Hill riots in 1958. It was also the time when Kelso Cochrane, an Antiguan carpenter, was murdered in the streets of the community. So what was happening was incidences that was occurring in terms of people's difficulties and facing disadvantage in housing, in social services, in its relationship with the police, and in the absence of youth facilities for young people. So inevitably there was a sense or feeling of living in under what we call heavy manners, and the opportunity for the community to come together to celebrate and to produce something that was very much part and parcel of their arts and culture. And I think that is what Rani Laslet built on, because she wanted to build an opportunity so people to celebrate the diversity and the multicultural nature of the area. And it's also deal with issues that at the time was very much dominant, like the murder of Kelso Cochrane. The Notting Hill Carnival is a peculiar beast. it is very much a street festival, but it's a street festival that has many nuances and many differences and many characteristics that make it up what it is. So it has music, it has dancing, it has dressing up, it has sound systems, it has steel bands, all sorts of things. So for me, it is a multicultural, multi-dimensional festival that incorporates all of these elements. So when you go onto the streets and watch the carnival, you'll see parades, you'll see people dancing, you'll hear music, and you'll go to the sound systems, and you'll go to the events that will happen, like Panorama, where there'll be music. So what has happened is that each of these elements came together to create arenas, what we call arenas, the opportunity for everybody to come together. So all the people who are DJs come together, all the people who are masquerade bands come together, all the people who are steel bands come together. These are the arenas, and there are 5 of them. So the 5 arenas are masquerade, musical, the bands that wear costumes and so on. Then you have sound systems, and there are 2 types of sound systems. You have the static sound system that stays in one place in the carnival area, and you have the sound systems that are on the move. That is, sound systems are with the carnival bands, with the DJs playing on the lorries. Then you have the calypsonians. These are the troubadours and the songsters, people who sing calypso. That's an essential element. And then you have the steel band. And the steel band, again, is an arena. So these are the 5 arenas. And of course, there are other constituencies that make up the carnival as well. One of the major constituencies that makes up the carnival are the stall holders, the people who sell food and who sell drink all along the carnival. And then the most important constituency ever are the residents, the people who live here and who have to endure the carnival or who have to enjoy the carnival, either way. So what we are talking about is so many different complex constituencies all make up the carnival. And then you have the visitors, people who come from outside, or from outside of England to come and witness the carnival. I think from the very beginning of the carnival in 1966, you had a continuous development of people getting involved and participating. And one of the key things was people from Trinidad and Tobago who had a history and a knowledge of the carnival, where they came from. And typical Trinis, they decided to colonize and take advantage of it to turn the carnival into what they want. Because like any migrant community, when you migrate and you come over here, you want to retain your culture, you want to retain practices. Carnival was one of those practices that Trinidadians have and recognize. And so they attempt to recreate, to refashion, to remold what was happening on the streets in a carnivalesque way was what happened. And so that is how Carnival developed and created more and more Trinidadian aspects and characteristics. So dressing up in costumes with makeup, dancing in the streets to the music, engaging with the audiences along the route, playing the steel band, singing the calypso. All of these were elements that gradually were introduced into the carnival. And what has happened is that it's rooted in the community. This carnival is a community festival, and it's also a festival in an area that is not uniquely Trinidadian, because there are other communities here. There are the Moroccan communities, there are a lot of other communities. People from Jamaica, people from other Caribbean countries. And what happened is that each of those communities decided to get involved and make contributions. So, for example, the whole question about music. What is carnival music is an issue, because our young people who are 2nd, 3rd generation or British born have a different idea of the kind of music that they would like, the kind of music they would want to dance to. Okay, so it's no longer a desire to have soca, bouillon or zouk. They would quite prefer bashment, they would quite prefer drill and so on. So there is that tension between those kind of demands, because people like myself, the older generation, I call ourselves the dinosaurs of Carnival, we're in conflict with my grandchildren and my children who have a different notion of what they would like to do. For many of them, they don't put on a costume and dance silly in the streets. They want to go with makeup, but they would want to go to the sound system and listen to that music, but listen to different types of music. What has happened over the years in the Notting Hill Carnival is that it has grown from year to year to reflect all the nuances and all the influences from different constituencies, whether it's British-born young people or whether it's people from different communities or people who are Jamaican heritage, people who have Moroccan heritage or whatever. So that has happened, and the outcome of all of that is that you are having very much a quintessentially British carnival. You can no longer talk about a Trinidad carnival. You can no longer talk about a Caribbean carnival. This is a carnival of Britain, of the UK, of London, and it's uniquely British. And over the years, over the 50 plus years of carnival, I have seen classic examples of that. In one year, we had the Folkestone Rock and Roll Club participated in carnival. They came here with a pink Cadillac and everybody dressed up with a crinoline and dancing to Elvis blue suede shoes. Can you imagine that as a feature of carnival? Our carnival band, the carnival band I have been associated with, has brought in different types of music. So we have brought in street trumpeters from Rajasthan who would come and join the band. We have brought in Mokojambis, which are people who are dancing on stilts. Sorry. And so what is happening is the carnival has now become a broad church to enable any community to participate in this street festival. And I think that is something we have been should be very proud of, that we have created something that's uniquely British. The Notting Hill Carnival is essentially a weekend festival. On the Saturday, you have Panorama, which is a competition for the steel bands who will be competing with each other. And on Sunday, you have what is called Children or Family Day. And on Monday, it's for adults. And what has happened is there's an attempt to try and give each key areas some special place for them to celebrate. So on Sunday, the idea is to celebrate the festival as a family festival and to allow children to get priority so that they can put on their costume, they can dance, and they can participate without the pressures and the tensions and the crowds of the adult day. And that is what essentially Children's Day or Sunday is all about. Exclusively for children. But as you know, as Carnival becomes more and more popular, us adults trying to encroach onto the Sunday, the Children's Day, and take little parts of them. So that you have, for example, now on a Juve, which is Jus Ouvré, the day opens, the very beginning of Carnival, which eats into the time of the Children's Day. Then you have what is called Dirty Mass, which is a mass that people dance with, put mud, chocolate, all things around them, and colours, and dance in the afternoon. And what has happened in this so-called Children's Day is that children now have to be a little tiny little period in the day, but adults have been encroaching and taking more and more. So the drive is to make sure that children do have an exclusive space to dance and to participate in Carnival, uninfluenced by adults. Well, the Adults' Day is on Carnival Monday, which is Bank Holiday Monday. It's the last day of the Carnival, and it's a day when it's the main feature of the Carnival, because at that time, all the performing units, all the masquerade bands, all the costume bands present their unique and signature presentation. So each performing unit, each band would have a designer or several designers, and they would be designing costumes that people will pay for and dress and perform. And on Adults' Day is that opportunity for them to perform to the audiences and also to perform to a judging panel. That's just outside Westbourne Park Tube Station, where the judging zone is, and then when they parade them there, they are judged in terms of their creativity, their innovation, their presentation, and their visual impact. All of these things are features by which people judge whether a carnival band or performing unit is very good or not very good. So adults is an opportunity for the adults to demonstrate that creativity through their designers, demonstrate that creativity through the performers and how they dance and how they interact with the audiences. And obviously it's a time for everybody to enjoy themselves. For 50 plus years of the Notting Hill Carnival, there have been many people who have made contributions to the development of the carnival, who have made contributions to making sure it is better and is something that is unique in the United Kingdom. So there are many individuals who are pioneers, who are icons, and who are responsible and who we should pay homage to for the development work that they have made. So of course there is Rani Laslet, who is one of the people that actually instigated this whole Notting Hill Carnival. And through that time, there are several individuals. It's can be insidious to try and select a few, but let me try and identify a few people which I think are important. And one of the few that I would like to highlight is Leslie Palmer. Leslie Palmer is a Trinidadian. He's also a calypsonian, a singer, but he's also been involved in trying to promote music and the carnival. And it was him, and this is where the Jamaicans should pay homage to him, it was him who brought in the sound systems into carnival, and it was him who tried to develop the carnival in terms of its route and its direction. And it is to him we owe a lot for making sure that the carnival is developed in a particular way. Another person I think has made a significant impact on is the former CEO of Carnival, Claire Holder. Claire brought in initiatives to professionalize and to place the carnival in terms of its governance firmly into good governance, good management, and an appeal to the corporate sector and to sponsors. And then there are other individual band leaders, creators, designers who have been extending the boundaries of Carnival to bring new ideas into it. And Clarissa Landy is one such designer. She has been a major influence as an artist, as a creator, in the way in which she has created costumes, elaborate costumes, beautiful costumes, that is quintessentially the best of what mass is all about. In 2020, it's the first time that the carnival in its 50 plus years did not happen. It was a big blow to us because of COVID-19. We weren't able to guarantee social distancing. We weren't able to do the necessary mitigations to make sure that people were safe or to reduce potential transmission of the virus. And inevitably, Carnival is such a festival that it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to do that. There is no way in which you can keep people dancing on the streets 2 meters apart. There is no way you can prevent them from engaging with the public as you go along. There's no way you can sanitize everybody with their hands coming into the carnival. Where do you start? Where do you stop? So it was inevitable that the street parade couldn't happen. It just couldn't take place. And so inevitably it was cancelled. So we began to look for alternatives because there was a void. How do you fill that void? And inevitably we looked at making sure that we do something online because social media and digital platforms were very popular. And we decided to look at ways in which we can translate the dynamism of the street parade onto a screen. And that is what Access All Areas were in terms of making the carnival an online carnival and giving everybody an opportunity to participate. So each carnival band was given an opportunity to submit 5 or 6 costumes. Each calypsonian was given the space to be able to sing their compositions. Each steel band was able to rehearse and play their music. So each of the 5 arenas were given opportunities to perform. And we filmed that performance, and then that performance was then put on online live during the 2 days of the carnival. And it is still now accessible on YouTube. I think my favorite part of Carnival is the very beginning, at the carnival, when you start to participate, there's anxiety, there's butterflies in your stomach because it's a start and you want to make everything happens because it's the beginning. It's 9 a.m. in the morning and you don't know what is going to happen, if your lorry is going to break down, if the generator is not going to work, or if the ice that you ordered doesn't arrive, or if somebody is sick, they can't wear the costumes. All of those anxieties happen. And for me, that creative energy, that creative dynamism is what I find the most important thing.